Good afternoon, and welcome to another reading of Quantum Life by Saint Germain, channeled by Barbara Volkman. This afternoon we're reading chapter 14, New Insights to be Acquired. So with no further ado, chapter 14, New Insights to be Acquired. Beloved hearts, within your journey of self-development into the realm of quantum life, many of your old perceptions of the world and the situations around you will be seen as limited or erroneous. But they are not. They were just different points of view, aligned with the level of consciousness and understanding of reality that you had at the time. So let's free ourselves from self-judgment. What I mean by this is that this flexibility of letting go and undoing old perceptions in order to add new information to your development is essential for your progress on the path. Remaining rigid in the old ideas that have been imposed on you from an early age will become a brake on your process, blocking the consequent expansion of your learning, as has already been explained to you. So, my dear students, keeping your mind open and receptive to new conceptions that will come to you along the way is very important. Being aware of the mind games that reinforce old patterns and block the entry of new information is equally important. More than that, learning to recognize when you have had a wrong perception of a fact or a situation and taking a step back so that you can absorb the new information that comes to you is also a way of speeding up the process of expanding your consciousness, because many brothers and sisters face difficulties in recognizing their faults or misunderstandings along the path of life, which is not at all wrong, because it is also part of the journey that the divine spark must take to reach higher levels of consciousness. So again, don't judge yourself or others negatively. Learn to respect the time it takes for others to understand and the speed of their process. To those who are already more advanced, the truths that have already been revealed to you may seem obvious, but for those who are still stagnant or at the beginning of their steps on this journey of evolution of consciousness, it may not yet be so transparent, so respect and understanding. Likewise, you didn't come up with all this knowledge. You discovered it as you walked and stumbled along your journey. Along the way, many of your perceptions that come to you today as a light of consciousness will also be expanded to new understandings, new magnitudes and dimensions, which at the moment your level of consciousness and elevation cannot yet conceive of, even less when rooted to a material body in another experience on the wheel of samsara. I'm telling you this so you don't get attached to the new concepts you receive today. They set you free, but they can also imprison you if you begin to block out any information that is not in line with what you have learned. This shows that rigidity has not yet disappeared and continues to cross your life and your path. The path to quantum life is understanding that you need to free yourself from this rigidity and remain flexible in the face of any information. Don't try to impose your will on everything. Don't cling to the past and old ideas forever. Don't get stuck in the fear of having to give up the things you've been taught so far because you think they define who you are. Because the spiritual journey comes precisely so that you can discover who you really are in essence, not to imprison you again in a new belief system with different names, but the same concepts. Whenever there is resistance on your part to letting go of an old idea or receiving new information, there is still attachment and rigidity there. You are fluid beings, made of free energy, with a free opinion and free will. Every time you resist, suffer or fear, you cease to be fluid. You interrupt the natural flow of the universe in your lives, and you become like a stone in the current of a river, rigid, fixed, and gradually being eroded by the erosion of universal movement. Instead, be like a small leaf which has detached itself from its home and is now following the flow of life as best it can, without offering any resistance or rigidity to what is. But that doesn't mean you should do nothing for yourself and just sit on the sofa and watch life go by. But I think we've understood that together. What I want you to understand here is that, as you have already been told in this book, your thoughts connected to your emotions create your reality. So if everything you think and feel offers resistance and rigidity to everything that comes to teach you, you can expect to receive more of the same that you have co-created from the universe. You see? Being open and aware of this inner rigidity each time a new situation arises in your life is a big step on your journey of evolution. The more aware and perceptive you become, the easier and simpler it will be to undo this rigidity that you've been caught up in for a long time. It's also important to realize that this pattern of rigidity has been repeated and fed unconsciously for thousands of years, hundreds of incarnations. It won't be overnight that you will be free and fully aware of your points of rigidity. This is also a daily process that intensifies with recurring practice. Initially, you may find yourself repeating the same pattern of resistance and creating the same difficulties in your life. And that's okay, because seeing yourself in resistance, even some time later, and recognizing your rigidity at the moment it happened is already a big step for your consciousness. Along the way, you'll become more and more perceptive and aware of these patterns and beliefs installed in you, to the point where you're aware of them even before they happen. That's when real progress begins to intensify and you move faster. But there may still be points that are more difficult for you to leave behind and not repeat, but each step in its own time. Keeping your thoughts and emotions in a positive and confident polarity of your process is more important than the speed with which you move through it. These and other insights will begin to occur to you naturally as the light of your consciousness begins to gain strength and presence in your daily lives. Over time, you will begin to realize that everything that has happened to you so far makes sense within the path and was trying to show you a new understanding, a new learning to add to your spiritual baggage. You will realize that everything went as perfectly as it should have, and that even if you realize that you missed a great opportunity in the past, new opportunities will always come to you in the future, in this life or the next ones. Because learning is cyclical and repeats itself until it is absorbed and understood at the level of consciousness. Beloveds, the way you perceive the world changes drastically as your consciousness blossoms. I don't want you to feel alone on this path, and I don't want you to allow other brothers and sisters to judge you as crazy or deranged. We are here to offer you all the support you need, and we are working every day so that more and more brothers and sisters can develop the same consciousness that is reaching you today. Beloved hearts, I am Saint Germain. And this is the end of chapter 14. New insights to be acquired.